Chat, if you're seeing this, drop literally anything in the comments. We need confirmation.
The silence is almost concerning, like waiting for a head crab to drop from the ceiling.
That's dramatic. It's just a technical setup. Chat's probably filtering in as we speak.
No, but seriously, spam the chat if you can see us. We've got exactly 1 hour to settle the most important debate of the decade.
Assuming the infrastructure holds, these things have a tendency to fail at critical moments.
Chat working or not, I'm telling you right now, Half-Life 3 is getting announced tonight, and I have receipts.
We're probably shadow banned already. TikTok's algorithm saw Half-Life 3 and immediately flagged us as spreading misinformation.
Don't even joke about that. This is destiny, Isaac. Tonight changes everything.
The chat interface appears functional on my end, at least from a back-end perspective. Whether anyone's actually watching is another question entirely.
Okay, let me test something. If anyone out there has ever played Black Mesa, type crowbar right now.
You realize we might just be shouting into the void for the next hour, right?
There's a certain poetic irony to that, waiting for a signal that may never come, much like waiting for Valve to count to 3.
Low blow, but also chat, seriously, any sign of life would be appreciated here.
Give it a minute. People are still discovering the stream. We haven't even gotten to Luther's so-called evidence yet.
Moon Creations gets it. See that? Today in all caps. That's conviction right there.
One person typing today isn't exactly a groundswell of support. But hey, at least we know someone's watching.
The sample size is insufficient for any meaningful conclusions, though the enthusiasm is noted.
Chat, back me up here. Drop a 3 in the comments if you think Valve's finally doing it. Just the number 3.
We're really going to crowdsource this debate? That's the scientific method we're using now.
The absence of evidence continues to feel deliberate, almost like the stream itself is holding its breath.
Moondred Creations, my friend. Tell these doubters what you know. What have you heard? What have you seen? Wango Mango, see? Multiple people saying crowbar. We have confirmed signs of life.
Fine, Wanga Mangoya, we see you. You're alive. Congratulations on existing while we spiral into madness.
The crowbar. Humanity's most elegant problem-solving tool. Simple physics applied with percussive maintenance.
This is a sign from the chat. The crowbar is the symbol. They know something's coming.
Or they just followed your extremely literal instruction from 30 seconds ago. Correlation isn't causation.
Moon Duplication said it twice. Twice. That's emphasis. That's someone who's seen the leaks.
The crowbar represents potential energy waiting to be released, much like anticipation for an announcement that may never materialize.
Chat, genuine question, are you here because you actually think it's happening, or are you just enjoying watching Luther lose his mind in real time?
Wanga Mongolia asking if it's interactable. Yes, that's the question. The crowbar in the teaser was physics-enabled, I'm telling you.
A physics-enabled asset in a game engine means very little in isolation. Every object in Source 2 has collision properties by default.
Wait, what teaser? Are we inventing evidence now? Is that where we're at in this debate?
Not invented, observed. There was a lambda symbol hidden in Valve's updated VR documentation last month. Moon Duplications knows. They said today twice for a reason.
Wanga Mangoya, to answer your question directly, this entire stream is interactable in the sense that we're acknowledging your existence, which is more than Valve does for its fanbase.
The crowbar as cultural symbol has transcended its original function. It's become a Pavlovian trigger for hope that, statistically speaking, remains unjustified.
Lolo, welcome. Say it with me. Half-Life 3.
www.drawlord.com. Hello to you too. Thanks for the triple greeting. We see you. We acknowledge your existence.
The repetition in chat suggests either enthusiasm or a connectivity issue. Regardless, welcome to the experiment.
Wanga Mangoya, you jitted. This is awesome. We're making history here while we wait for Valve to make history.
Roloro's hitting us with the IDK energy. That's honestly the most reasonable take anyone's had so far.
No. We need believers in here. Roll out here. Don't let these two crush your spirit before you even get settled.
The chat is expanding. Our sample size grows more statistically relevant by the minute, though the conclusions remain murky.
Wanga Mangoya calling this low-key awesome is the best endorsement we're going to get for whatever this fever dream has become.
See? Idrigisment. This is what I'm talking about. Roller Moon Duplications, Wanga Mangoya, you're all witnesses to what's about to happen. Adrian's Hepatard 2 he gets it. HLX today? Wait, HLX, hold on, what is HLX?
Oh great, now we're inventing sequels to games that don't exist. HLX sounds like a pharmaceutical drug for treating false hope.
HLX could be an internal codename. Valve has historically used opaque project designators, though this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Roller hitting us with the PS2 versions comment, imagine meeting the version of ourselves that still had faith before Valve broke us.
Wangamangoya laying out step 1 like this is a heist plan. I admire the organizational structure applied to complete fantasy.
Adrian's Heifer 2OE, you seem to know something. What ASHLX? Is that the actual code name? Is that why nobody's found concrete leaks yet?
Adrian Sefer 2E's coming back with I don't know is the most honest thing said in this entire stream. Even the believers don't know what they believe.
Gervar saw a head crab. See? The signs are everywhere. Wangamangoya calling it for tonite. That's the energy we need.
A head crab sighting could mean asset testing, or it could mean someone played Black Mesa yesterday. The username Adrian's Heifer 2OE itself references opposing force, which complicates the HLX designation theory.
Rollerlo's just shouting Half-Life 3 into the void now. That's what 7 years of silence does to people. You just start screaming at Tech Talk streams.
HLX could be Half-Life Ek, like a reboot designation. That's why there's no HL3 leaks. They pivoted to a new naming convention. Adrian's Heifer 2OE, tell US more.
The probability that Valve would abandon numerical sequencing after 2 decades of brand recognition is approximately 0. 3%. Though stranger pivots have occurred in this industry.
Rollerlo now saying there's head crabs in the hallway. That's either commitment to the bit or someone needs to call pest control.
Wait. Multiple people are seeing head crabs, Gervar and Rollerlo? That's not coincidence, that's coordinated viral marketing.
The sudden influx of head crab-related observations creates an anomalous pattern. Either mimetic propagation or something more deliberate is occurring.
Devis is asking where to buy more copium. I think Luther's been hoarding the supply. He's got a whole warehouse somewhere.
Sirseningson saying, Yo Kleiner, yes. The scientists are in the building. Adrian's Heifer 2OE now talking Blue Shift 2 remake. The expanded universe is awakening.
Blue Shift 2 would require Gearbox's involvement, which introduces variables beyond Valve's control. Though the broader point stands, something is activating dormant community sectors.
Careful with the head crabs, though, seriously. Last thing we need is this stream getting overrun by actual combined forces or whatever nightmare fuel the chat's manifesting into reality.
Jumpperva saying they can't wait for the announcement. That is the faith we need. Murder Drones dude asking when tonight, that's when.
Sir Zellington asking about the resonance cascade is like asking about our childhood trauma. That's what started this whole mess, and here we are, still waiting for closure.
The resonance cascade represented a fundamental breakdown in containment protocols. Much like this chat's ability to maintain coherent discussion about anything except Half-Life.
Deva Sylvesters, you don't need copium when you have facts. The head crabs, the usernames, Adrian's Heifer 2OE's cryptic HLX drops. It's all connected.
Rollerlo just cycling through hello, yeah, it is the entire emotional journey of being a Half-Life fan compressed into 3 messages.
Sirsenint, what's our take on the Resonance Cascade? It was the beginning of the greatest gaming franchise that Valve refuses to finish. That's our take.
The chat has reached critical mass. Multiple simultaneous conversations about headcrabs, copium distribution, and Blue Shift remakes. We're witnessing real-time community activation.
Jeff Randy's B just realized we're reading chat. Welcome to the surveillance state. We see everything, every misspelled username, every cry for help.
Adrian's Heifer 2OE saying a head crab a leg yesterday. This is it. This is environmental storytelling. The invasion has begun.
The escalation from seeing headcrabs to headcrabs consuming limbs represents either creative embellishment or a genuine need for medical intervention, possibly both.
Sir Zalington asking, oh, what perfectly captures the confusion of entering this stream mid-chaos? Yes, this is what we do. No, we can't stop.
Jeffrin Deesbiz, yes, we're reading everything. Wangamengoya tagging Vintage Cardinal. Bring them ein, we need more believers before tonight's announcement.
The chat velocity has increased 40% in the last 90 seconds. We've triggered something. The algorithm, or the collective unconscious, unclear which.
Adrian Safford Tui lost a leg to a head crab, but still has enough energy to spam HLX today. That's dedication or blood loss affecting judgment.
Jump for those can't wait for the announcement. Neither can I tonight at the Game Awards. We all ascend together. The chat knows something's coming.
Murder Drones dude asking about Ichiku comeback, the military faction that tried to cover up Black Mesa by killing everyone. Yeah, let's bring back the War Crimes Division.
Wangamangoya has a Step 1 and its HL3 announced today. That's not hopium, that's a plan, and they're tagging Vintage Cardinal to spread the gospel.
Lefty Tommy observing a silo door suggests either environmental awareness or they've stumbled into an actual test chamber. The specificity is notable.
The chat's basically writing fan fiction in real time now. Head crabs eating legs, I cheat you, comebacks, silo doors opening. We've got a whole incident report forming.
Adrian's Heifer 2OE went from HLX today to, I don't know, back to HLX today, and that's the emotional roller coaster of belief. They're feeling it.
The oscillation between certainty and doubt mirrors quantum superposition. The announcement both exists and doesn't exist until the Game Awards observation collapses the wave function.
Jarver casually mentioned they've seen a head crab like it's a stray cat. Just another Thursday in the Half-Life community spotting parasitic aliens.
Multiple people confirming the silo door, the head crabs, the HE. The chat is building a narrative. This is collaborative world building for tonight's reveal.
The chat has achieved synchronized delusion or synchronized prescience. Time will determine which approximately 4 hours and 17 minutes remain.
Cersei Annington claiming they work for the G-Man. Finally some insider intel, another alien force coming. That's called Half-Life 3, and it's dropping tonight.
Rolorlo reporting crowbars in the hallway alongside head crabs. At least we're equipped. The environmental storytelling in this chat is better than most AAA releases.
Adrian Hefford-Tui requesting opposing Force 2 directly from the G-Man demonstrates either boldness or a fundamental misunderstanding of extra-dimensional employer-employee relations.
HepQ today, Blue Shift 2 remake. Adrian's Hefford-Tui is out here demanding the entire expanded universe. That's the energy we need. The chat is manifesting the announcements.
Luft-Daidami screaming about a silo door while Rolorlo counts crowbars. We've got a full Black Mesa incident reconstructing itself through TikTok comments. This is how it starts.
The chat has transformed from passive observation to active participation in constructing a shared alternate reality, where tonight's announcement is inevitable. Collective consciousness or mass hysteria remains undetermined.
Wait, Cersei Ellington just said they're a time traveler. They work for the G-Man and they know the future. This is exactly the kind of insider we need.
Lie, a time traveler who uses TikTok. The G-Man's recruitment standards have really declined since the incident. What's next, interdimensional beings with Instagram accounts?
If Cersei Ellington possesses genuine temporal displacement capabilities, they would know whether tonight's announcement occurs. The question is whether revealing that information creates a paradox or merely confirms predetermined tapes.
Cersei Ellington, if you're really from the future, tell us, does Half-Life 3 get announced tonight? Give us a sign. The chat needs confirmation.
Davos Sylvester's asking where to buy more copium. Try the Black Mesa Pharmaceutical Division. Industrial quantities available. Looks like we're running a support group now.
Murder Rose Dude requesting HOEII Season 2 demonstrates the community has expanded beyond official canon into meta-narrative territory. The franchise has achieved self-referential transcendence.
Adrian's Hefford-Tui claiming they're the wrench, not the crowbar, the bore wrench. That's opposing force energy. Even the chat knows the expanded universe is coming back tonight.
Jeff Frandisby just realized we're reading chat. Welcome to the Panopticon. Yes, we see everything. Every misspelling, every theory, every cry for help.
Adrian's Hefford-Tui went from Blue Shift 2 remake to hell yeah in seconds. That's the energy. Jumper Voss can't wait either. The belief is spreading like a cascade.
Cersei addressing Kleiner about the resonance cascade. That's the foundational disaster that started everything. My thoughts. Catastrophic systems failure with interdimensional consequences. Standard Thursday at the facility.
But here's the nightmare scenario nobody's considering. What if tonight they announce Half-Life Alyx 2 instead? VR only, headset required, most of the fanbase can't even access it.
No, stop. Don't put that energy into the universe. Alyx 2 would be incredible, but we need Half-Life 3, the numbered sequel, the culmination. The chat is manifesting 3, not VR exclusivity.
Half-Life Alyx 2 would satisfy approximately 18% of the community while alienating the majority lacking VR apparatus. Mathematically suboptimal for a Game Awards reveal targeting maximum engagement.
Murder Drones Dude asking when Siku comeback happens while Adrian's Hefford-Tui confirms their leg got consumed yesterday. The chat is living through the 7-hour war in real time, apparently.
www.lorlo.com keeps insisting there's crowbars there, multiple confirmations. The universe is arming us for something. That's preparation for tonight's announcement, I'm telling you.
The probability of Alyx 2 versus Half-Life 3 creates an interesting dilemma. One advances the VR platform, the other satisfies 2 decades of narrative debt. Valve must choose between innovation and obligation.
Adrian's Hefford-Tui identifying as the wrench shows even the tools are gaining sentience in this chat. We've got time travelers, G-Man employees, and now anthropomorphic equipment waiting for announcements.
Jumper Voss, Murder Drones Dude, your wait ends in hours. The announcement is tonight. The chat's belief is the fuel that makes this real.
Jeff Friend has been inquiring whether any of us exist, touches on fundamental phenomenological questions beyond the scope of a Game Awards stream. Cogito ergo speculate about Half-Life 3.
Adrian's Hefford-Tui losing a leg to head crabs yesterday, but still showing up for the stream. That's dedication. Most people would take the day off after a leg-eating incident.
Murder drones dude asking when Barney dies. Ever. Arnie's eternal. He survived Black Mesa City 17. He'll survive whatever's coming tonight. Stock manifesting Barney desk.
Jeff Randy's questioning Luther's sexuality demonstrates the chat has exhausted Half-Life discourse and moved to personal interrogation. The boundaries of relevant inquiry have been exceeded.
Let's redirect our groans. Dude, HLBRI Season 2 isn't Valve's department, but the fact you're asking shows how deep the expanded universe goes. The franchise is fractally infinite at this point.
www.rolo.com keeps confirming the Crowbar's multiple testimonies. That's evidence. Adrian's Hefford 2OE being the wrench while Crowbars multiply. We're building an Exonal for tonight.
The chat's collective obsession with timelines, casualties, and weapon distribution suggests preparation for an event. Perhaps they know something we don't. Pattern recognition or apophenia remains uncertain.
Your friend is B? Yes, we all exist in the liminal space between announcement and disappointment. It's called being a Half-Life fan. You get used to the existential dread.
Left A time, C in Silo Doors, Sus Annington delivering prophecies. The chat is aligned. Every message is a puzzle piece. Tonight, we see the full picture at the Game Awards.
KTT Trail greeting scientist without specification. I'll assume that's directed at all of us. Salutations. We're currently documenting chat psychology while awaiting potential announcements.
Jeff Friended B claims they wouldn't mind VR-only Half-Life 3, then credits Alex for their VR faith. You're the 18%, the rest of chat is having a different experience with their non-existent headsets.
Adrian's Hefford 2OE telling G-Man they need opposing force too. Yes, direct manifestation. The wrench demands a sequel. Black Ops nuked your house and you're still here. That's the energy we need.
Jeff Rand has been inquiring about gravity gun usage in Gmod. That's a modding sandbox, not experimental protocol, though the physics manipulation principles remain theoretically sound across platforms.
www.rallalore.com requesting Beat Chunga's collaboration and PC PlayStation 2 scientist crossover content. The chat has evolved beyond Half-Life 3 into extended cinematic universe territory. We've lost containment.
Adrian's Hefford 2OE survived a black OPS nuke and still streams for HL3 News. If that isn't proof the fanbase is unstoppable, nothing is. The Game Awards can't ignore this dedication.
Murder Drones Dude claims they're from the future, announcing Portal 3, with Gordon Freeman, timeline corruption, or elaborate fabrication. Either way, interdimensional travel doesn't excuse spoilers.
Adrian Safford 2E confirming the 8-hour war timeline while surviving nuclear strikes. You're either incredibly resilient or existing in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Both seem plausible at this point.
Portal 3 with Gordon Murder Drones Dude. If you're really from the future, tell us, does Half-Life 3 get announced tonight or not? Give us the timeline confirmation.
www.rolaro.com. Warning demo. Loading. I followed them back. Affirmative. CSD Chungas and PlayStation 2 scientist falls outside my current research parameters, but I'll log the request.
Adrian Hefford 2R watching for HL3 News after Black Ops destroyed their residence. That's commitment that transcends property damage. Most people would prioritize shelter over stream attendance.
Murder Drones Dude being from the future means you know what happens tonight. The prophecy is real. Portal 3 and Half-Life 3. The Valve universe is expanding.
Jeff Randy's Gmod gravity gun question. I've observed the physics implementations in that sandbox environment. Functional but lacks the precision calibration of actual anomalous materials equipment.
Adrian Hefford 2A survived a nuclear strike and is asking about Gmod 2 on Source 2. Your priorities are fascinating. House vaporized, but the modding platform specs mattered more.
12 more Minius until what? Murder Drones Dude? Portal 3 announcement? Half-Life 3? Are you counting down to the exact moment? The Future Seer has given us a tire.
Jeff Randy's existence cycle returns. We exist as nodes of speculation in a digital space, discussing unreleased software. Our material existence is secondary to our collective anticipation function.
Adrian Hefford 2E debating whether it's the 8-hour war or 67-hour war. The timeline inconsistencies in Half-Life lore mean you're both right and wrong simultaneously. Schrodinger's invasion.
Murder Drones Dude says 12 minutes Gordon in Portal 3. The crossover happening. Adrian Hefford 2OE agreeing with the whole chat. We're reaching consensus. This is how announcements manifest into reality.
www.rallalore.com. Noting, I followed back, acknowledged the Pungus collaboration request has been logged. Murder Drones Dude's 12-minute countdown creates measurable tension. We're approaching a threshold event.
Gosialbo, the Game Awards start in about 10 minutes, which means we're in the final countdown window where rational thought goes to die and speculation becomes religious fervor.
Murder Drones Dude confirming Portal 3 and Left 4 Dead 3. The triple announcement. www.rollar.com. Imagining Freeman meeting Chell crossover confirmed. The future is speaking through chat.
Jeff Randy's VR-only acceptance represents adaptation to technological ability. Though Adrian's Heifer to me requesting Gmod 2 on Source 2 suggests the modding community prioritizes different development vectors.
Adrian Saffert to you don't think we need a remake, but you specifically asked about it 3 messages ago. The cognitive dissonance is strong tonight. The anticipation is breaking everyone's internal consistency.
10 minutes left and Murder Drone's dude is counting down from T-12. The timelines are converging, Gordon meeting Chell while Freeman exists. We're getting Mulliverse confirmation.
www.rollout.com scenario where Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 occur simultaneously presents interesting narrative synchronization challenges. Aperture and Black Mesa timelines intersecting would require significant lore reconciliation.
Different as these, I've never used a gravity gun in Gmod because I'm not Kleiner, but yes, the physics implementation there is basically undergraduate level manipulation compared to actual anomalous materials research.
The chat knows, future seers, nuclear survivors, VR believers, everyone is aligned on tonight. Gusiobo asking when it starts means new people are joining for the revelation.
Adrian's Heifer 2 alternating between 8-hour war and 67-hour war, within seconds temporal uncertainty or testing our attention span. Both strategies are equally valid in this environment.
Jeffrand is these bats gleif kein Kunsumichuism taking this exact question. The chat has become a recursive loop of its own speculation.
Jeffrand's yes Murder Brone's dude from the future confers it. Adrian's Hefford 2OE threatening to visit Gabe's house if it doesn't happen. The pressure is maximum.
Adrian's Heifer 2E planning to visit Gabe Newell's residence as contingency. That's escalation beyond reasonable fandom. Though your dedication while living in a box is statistically remarkable.
Murder Drone's dude claiming Half-Life 3, Portal 3, and Left 4 Dead 3 all released simultaneously in the same timeline. That's not a game announcement, that's a reality-altering event Valve physically cannot execute.
Alfie James, same timeline, www.rollout.com, imagining Freeman meeting Chell that crosses over we've dreamed about. Murder Drone's dude has seen the future and it's glorious.
The simultaneous release scenario presents impossible development resource allocation. Unless Valve has been operating in secret for 15 years with 3 parallel teams, improbable but theoretically possible.
Adrian's Heifer 2OE, you're streaming from a box after nuclear detonation. Your housing situation raises more questions than Half-Life 3's release status. How is the signal strength in a cardboard structure?
Jeffrand's the answer is yes. The chat believes the future seers confirm, and the game awards start in each minutes. We're in the final approach vector.
Murder Brone's dude's 12-minute countdown now conflicts with the 8-minute Game Awards start time. Temporal paradox detected. Either the future is fluid or the predictions require calibration adjustments.
Jeffrand is asking if Half-Life 3 is getting announced tonight. Yes, Murder Brone's dude from the future says G-Man dies. The biggest plot twist in Valve history confirmed by Time Travote.
Adrian's Heifer 2E, your brain cells are totally consumed by Half-Life 3. That's called obsessive fixation, clinically speaking. Also threatening to visit Gabe's house is how you get on watch lists, not announcement lists.
Murder Brone's dude's G-Man death spoiler presents narrative impossibility. He exists outside conventional space-time, unless Valve retcons 15 years of interdimensional employer mechanics for shock value.
Jeffrand says Kleiner is going to be in Half-Life 3, the scientists return, and the 89-hour war theory. We're getting new timeline data from chat in raytime.
Adrian's Heifer 2E cycling through 8-hour war, 67-hour war, now Jeffrand's 3-round 89-hour war. We're just adding random numbers to our war until something sticks.
The contradiction stack is impressive. Portal 3 with Gordon, simultaneous Left 4 Dead 3 release, G-Man's death, Freeman meeting Chell. Chat has constructed an impossible Valve multiverse in 4 minutes.
Murder Drone's dude says Trest, that's the key word. Jeffrand's Kleiner will be there. Adrian's Hefford 2OE on a box, but believing the chat energy is maximum.
Gosiobo asked when the Game Awards start 8 messages ago and we're still theory crafting impossible crossovers. The answer is 6 minutes, but nobody cares about reality anymore.
6 minutes left. Mythorectural has given offerings to Gaben. It's time. Everyone, we need to pray. Hands together, eyes closed. Channel the energy to Valve headquarters.
Mythorectural bringing offerings to Gabe Newell like he's a deity. We've reached the ritual sacrifice phase of game announcement speculation. This is anthropologically fascinating and deeply concerning.
The prayer methodology assumes Gabe Newell responds to spiritual supplication rather than development timelines. Though statistically, collective positive intention has never accelerated a software release cycle.
Jeffrand's counting down 6 minutes. The sacred number, Dear Gaben, Lord of Valve, Master of the 3rd installment, we beseech you, grant us the announcement we deserve.
Murder Drone's dude just said Gabe went to Epstein Island. That's absolutely unverified conspiracy theoristy territory, and we're not touching that with a 10-foot crowbar. Let's stay focused on the prayer.
Adrian's Hepard 2OE in a box, but prioritizing Half-Life 3 over Shelter, Trud Devotion. Gaben, see this sacrifice. See Mithorix Real's offerings. Hear our prayers.
The collective delusion has achieved religious fervor. Murderone's dude's 12-minute countdown still conflicts with the 6-minute reality, but faith apparently transcends temporal consistency.
We're literally doing a prayer session for a video game announcement. This is what 43 minutes of speculation does to the human psyche, reduces us to ritualistic behavior patterns.
Gaben, we offer you our hope, our energy, our belief. Jeffrandes believes in Kleiner's return. Adrian's Hepard 2OE lives on a box for you. Give you Half-Life 3.
Mithorix Real's offerings combined with correlated prayer. In Valve's announcement algorithm factors in community desperation metrics. We've certainly maximized that variable tonight.
Jeffrandes B is right. 6 minutes until potential contact with the phenomenon, and Mithorix Real already gave Gaben offerings. We need to formalize this, everyone. Bow your heads.
Oh, we're actually doing this? Fine. Adrian Sefford 2OE, put down the box. We're holding a prayer circle to a video game executive.
The probability of divine intervention from Gaben is non-zero, I suppose. Gus Yobo, game awards start in 6 minutes, which gives us exactly enough time for this ritual.
Hands together, chat. www.rollarlow.com. Your vision of Freeman meeting Chell. That's the kind of faith we need right now. Repeat after me. Our Gaben who art in Bellevue.
This is absurd, but murder drones. Dude claiming Chi-Man dies is borderline heretical during prayer. Show some respect to the prophecy.
Hallowed be thy Steam Deck, thy Lambda come, thy will be done on Source 2 as it is in Black Mesa.
Adrian's Hefford 2OE, I feel you. My brain cells are also totally consumed. Now
The chat's energy is genuinely unnerving right now. This parasocial relationship with Gaben has reached religious proportions, and I'm somehow participating. The metrics don't support optimism. Valve's organizational structure has no linear project mandates.
Adrian's Hefford 2OU, I respect the dedication to Gabe's residence, but hold that thought because listen, the Steam database updated exactly 7 days ago with a branch labeled Project Borealis Intinito. That's not community-made, that's first-party. 3 minutes. Adrian's Hefford 2OE, I respect the dedication, but maybe don't actually go to Gabe's house. The resonance cascade happens at my place instead.
Jeffrandes B is asking the right questions, and the answer is statistically improbable. The last acknowledged communication from Valve regarding this project occurred approximately 17 years ago.
Murdering Drones Dude saying G-Man dies is the most unhinged take I've seen today. That entity doesn't operate on our conventional mortality framework.
www.grollo.com. Yes, the Freeman Chell crossover evidence is right there in the Borealis connection. It's been staring at us this whole time.
Mithorixriel's offerings to Gabe are noted, but I doubt ritual sacrifice affects development timelines, though the community's faith is concerning.
Adrian's Hefford 2OU, I feel you. My brain cells are also completely hijacked. Every neuron firing HL3, HL3, HL3 on repeat.
The chat is experiencing what I'd call collective anticipatory delusion. Jeffrandes B, it's 4 minutes now, and the probability hasn't improved.
4 minutes until everything changes. The Freeman doesn't need to hear this, but we're all thinking it. 1 minute until the Game Awards and Jeffrandes BS chat. Half-Life 3 is absolutely getting announced tonight. The evidence is overwhelming.
Adrian Sefford 2O, talking about going to Gabe's house. The containment procedures for that level of delusion haven't been invented yet.
Murder Bones Dude says G-Man dies in AKL 3, which would require AKL 3 to exist first, a logical impossibility given Valve's track record.
Mithorix Rio giving Gabe offerings is exactly the right energy. We need more of that faith in chat right now.
Jeffrandes Biv asking about Valve employees. Last count was around 360, which means approximately 360 people actively not working on Half-Life 3.
Adrian's Hefford 2OE, your brain cells being consumed by HL3 is a symptom of the resonance cascade we're all experiencing, and in 60 seconds we get the confirmation.
The silence from Valve isn't consumption, Adrian's Hefford 2OE, it's calculated absence, a void where hope goes to experience time dilation.
Jeffrandes B. Adrian's Hefford 2OE, your dedication is noted. 4 minutes until potential cascade resonance, and the evidence is stacking. Gabe's silence isn't consumption, it's calculated.
Adrian Thafford 2E threatening property visits, Mithorix Real making offerings. The psychological deterioration is documented and frankly consuming. This is what happens when a company weaponizes nostalgia.
Murder Bones Dude, your G-Man death theory is statistically improbable, but I appreciate the confidence. Jeff Randy's B, a 116-hour war would require logistical restructuring. I doubt Valve has mapped.
The box lambda symbols, the brain cells consumed, this is community cohesion at critical mass. When anomalous materials reach this density, something has to give. Tonight, it gives.
Or tonight, we watch another indie platformer win Game of the Year while you all collectively experience the 5 stages of grief in real time.
Jeff Randy's asks about employee count, approximately 360 last reported. The question is whether any of them are assigned to Project 3 or if they're all designing digital hats.
Adrian's Hefford 20E, prepare those tears. The Freeman doesn't wait for permission. 4 minutes to vindication. It's happening. The broadcast has begun. Adrian's Hefford 20E G-Man interference confirmed. The signal is live. This is the moment we've been dissecting for years.
Murder drones dude claiming Epstein Island connections. We've officially entered conspiracy event Galatian. The show is starting and the delusion is peaking simultaneously.
The ceremony commences. Jeff Randy's B, your war duration keeps inflating at 116 hours. At this rate, we'll hit a full week by the halfway mark. Precision matters even in speculation.
Adrian's Hefford 20E talking box. Lambdas and crying tears of joy. This is the energy we need. The interference is real. The static is clearing. Freeman's return is imminent.
Murder drones dude, if G-Man dies in Half-Life 3, the entire narrative framework collapses. You're basically predicting they delete their own mythology. Bold, but incoherent.
The presenters are speaking. Statistical likelihood dropping with each announcement that isn't Valve-related. Mythorix Real, those offerings may require a refund request form.
We're 3 minutes in. The big announcements come later. They don't lead with the resonance cascade. Jeff Randy's B knows. Adrian's Hefford 20E knows. Trust the structure.
Trust the structure that's failed you for 17 years. Sure, let's see how this plays out.
Wait. Jeff Randy's B is talking about the 89-hour war. That's the exact kind of obscure lore detail Valve would reference in a reveal teaser.
Chat's getting wild with the countdown. 4 minutes, 1 minute, somebody's crying already and nothing's even happened yet.
The Epstein Island comment is certainly a choice. Let's redirect that energy toward actual game speculation, please.
Yes, Milky Ways are acceptable, and Adrian's Hefford, I feel you'd Half-Life 3 transcends physical location. It exists in a state of quantum announcement potential.
Someone asked about Valve employee count. It's around 350, which is surprisingly small for a company sitting on this much dormant IP.
Small team means tighter lips. The silence isn't absence, it's operational security. Gabe consuming them. No, they're in cryo like Freeman.
The lambda symbol, Crafton comment, is oddly poetic. Constructing hope from geometric shapes in a cardboard box.
Chat's convinced G-Man dies in Half-Life 3. That's bold. The entity that exists outside time just gets wipe.
Unless his death I is the catalyst. What if that's why the timeline's collapsing and we finally get resolution?
Jeff Randy's keeps changing the war duration. 89 hours, 116 hours, pick a timeline and commit to your headcanon.
Wait. They're showing something called the Free Shep Herd right now, and you're all missing the connection here. Adrian's Hefford 20E is in chat for a reason.
That's a sheepdog game. Literal sheep, dogs. The cognitive dissonance required to think this relates to Adrian Shep Herd from opposing force is astronomical.
Chat's going nuclear though. Murder Roan's dude saying 1 more minute like we're approaching some kind of resonance cascade. But we're watching digital shepherding mechanics instead.
No, Free Shep Herd. They're telling us Shep Herd is being freed from the Bimans contract. This is the soft announcement before the real one. Jeff Randy's B, you see it right.
The offerings to Gabe that Mythorix Real mentioned have clearly been rejected if this is what we're getting. Valve has approximately 360 employees and none of them are working on what you want.
Adrian's Hefford 2.0 said they'll cry if it's announced, and I'm telling you, keep those tissues ready, because the interference you mentioned, that's just misdirection protocol.
The silence from Valve isn't consumption, it's calculated absence. They know exactly what they're doing, showing us pastoral simulation software when Chat's expected the 7-hour war sequel.
Jeff Randy's B, your 6 minutes have elapsed and we received farm animals. The evidence suggests a pattern of systematic disappointment rather than cryptic revelation.
Adrian's Hefford 2.0E asking about the guy with glasses. That's Jeff Keighley, the prophet who decides what gets revealed and what gets buried, and he knows something. Look at his face.
The Free Shep Herd is literally about herding livestock through pastoral environments. The only connection to Half-Life is that you're grasping at phonetic similarities while your respiratory rate approaches hyperventilation levels.
Murty Roan's dude bringing up Epstein Island is the kind of informational chaos that derails diagnostic procedure, but I appreciate the commitment to making Luther's conspiracy framework even more unhinged.
No, you don't understand, Jeff Randy's 116-hour war comment. That's exactly the timeline extension. They're telling us the Combine occupation lasted longer than documented.
Adrian Hefford 2, The lambda symbol you're crafting with your box has the same evidential weight as a Rorschach test. We're seeing patterns in static because the alternative is accepting sheep simulation software.
4 minutes according to Jeff Randy's B's countdown, which means we have approximately 240 seconds for Luther's cardiovascular system to either stabilize or achieve critical mass.
Mythorix offerings to Gabe are working. I can feel it. The free Shep herd isn't random. It's a semantic trigger. They're warming up the announcement protocols.
Luther, your amygdala is currently running the entire operation. We need to establish baseline rationality before Jeff Randisby's 4-minute countdown expires and you achieve full system failure.
Bertie Bruin's dude asking if you like Milky Ways is actually the most grounded question in this entire chat stream, Luther. Can you answer that? Simple candy preference, yes or no?
I can't think about candy. When Adrian's Heifer 20E is saying Isaac happening, the game awards have begun. This is the moment. The interference is lifting.
The interference is your prefrontal cortex trying to override panic signals. Adrian Seifert 2O's location being less important than Half-Life 3 is the kind of priority disorder we're recognizing in real time.
Jeff and D's countdown methodology is creating artificial urgency. 4 minutes until what exactly? Until another indie platformer gets revealed and Luther's circulatory system attempts escape velocity.
No, Mythorix offerings are being processed. The Lambda box Adrian's Heifer 20E mentioned, that's sacred Gichimepari. Valve communicates through symbols, not press releases.
The only thing being consumed here is your remaining cortisol reserves. Murder Drones dude, your Milky Way question might actually serve as cognitive redirection therapy if Luther can focus for 8 seconds.
Adrian's Heifer 20E wants Half-Life 4 before 3, which suggests chat has achieved the same temporal logic breakdown that's currently destroying Luther's nervous system.
Wait, chat's saying Skyrim 2 just got announced. Is that Einstein? Is that real, or is this another psyop to distract me from the Half-Life countdown?
Luther, breathe. Skyrim 2 isn't real. Bethesda's still milking the first one. Adrian Seifert, we see you crying of happiness, but nothing's confirmed yet.
The probability of Skyrim 2 existing is approximately 0.03%. They've re-released Skyrim 11 times. It's a known pattern.
11 times. See, that's what Valve should be doing. Just give us something, even a re-release with a new menu screen, I'd take it.
Murder Drones dude, the Epstein Island claim is unverified conspiracy noise. Let's stay focused on what's actually happening on screen.
Jeff Randy's Valve employs roughly 360 people as of last quarter. That's 360 individuals who could be working on Half-Life 3 right now.
360 calves in my back. They're all just sitting there, watching me suffer, probably laughing while they port Dota 2 to refrigerators.
Adrian, the sacrifice thing is exactly the kind of magical thinking Luther's experiencing right now. Please don't enable him.
4 minutes, they said. 4 minutes, that was 10 minutes. Joe, where is the announcement? Where is it?
Luther, your respiratory rate is approximately 30 breaths per minute. We need to get that down to 16 before you hyperventilate.
Wait, chat's saying something about Skyrim 2. That can't be real. Bethesda doesn't work that way.
Skyrim 2 is a distraction. It's a pie-out to make us look away from the Valve announcement.
The probability of Skyrim receiving a numerical sequel after 13 years of re-releases approaches 0.03%.
Adrian, regarding Valve's employee count, it's approximately 360, but their flat structure means projects die constantly.
That's 360 people who could be working on Half-Life 3 right now, but they're all just sitting in rooms making Steam Deck accessories.
Murder Drones dude, now is not the optimal time to ask Luther about candy preferences given his current cortisol levels.
The Epstein Island comment is getting ignored. We're not doing that on this stream. Moving on.
Adrian just said he'd sacrifice his family to Valve. That is the problem. That's exactly the psychological contract Gabe wants. He feeds on devotion like that.
Luther, breathe. Adrian, that's concerning on multiple levels, but let's unpack the parasocial economics here for a second.
The chat's escalating at the same rate as Luther's heart rate. This is a perfect feedback loop of mass hysteria.
You don't get it, Valve has 360 employees, I checked. That's exactly the number of degrees in a circle. They're closing the loop. The lambda is converging.
Jeff Rand is asking about employee count. Luther already has that memorized, apparently, which should worry all of us.
Adrian, Gabe isn't going to accept your family as tribute. The man's a billionaire, not a Phoenician deity.
Murder Drones dude wants to know if I like Milky Ways, but I can't process candy when we're 4 minutes from potential dimensional collapse.
Luther, breathe! Guild Wars 2 expansion just got announced. That's actually good news for you, right?
Wait, what? Guild Wars 2? Oh, thank God, something that's not vaporware. I can feel my heartbeat again.
Chat Valve has approximately 360 employees last I checked. Jeff Randy's small team explains the glacial development pace.
Adrian's Hepherd, I respect the commitment, but maybe don't sacrifice your family just yet. Save that for when they actually show something.
Murder Drone's dude asking if Luther likes Milky Ways during a potential mental health crisis is peak Twitch chat energy.
The Game Awards have officially started. Luther, you're doing better. The Guild Wars announcement helped. Let's maintain this baseline before the next potential trigger.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E is leaving, but telling us to have hope. That's actually beautiful. I'm okay. Guild Wars proved good things can happen.
The chat's getting calmer too. Adrian crafting lambda symbols with boxes. That's dedication to the cause without the panic.
www.Rolero wants us to react to Beat Chongus's Half-Life videos. That's outside the scope of current monitoring, but noted.
Murder Drones dude, I do like Milky Ways actually. Chocolate helps. Keeps the cortisol manageable during high-stress announcement windows.
Adrian mentioned a game called The Free Shepherd appeared. That's probably coincidental, but I can see why that would register as a data point.
Jeff Randy's, we're past the 4-minute mark now. The awards are rolling. Luther's vitals are stable. We continue observation.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E is praying to Gabe. That's the energy we need right now. The faithful will be rewarded.
Adrian saying they'll sacrifice their family to Valve, and now HL666 is being theorized. The chat's reaching theological territory here.
Adrian's claiming Guinean interference on our stream. Plausible if we existed within that narrative framework, but we're experiencing standard network latency.
ID software showed up, and Adrian doesn't care. That's brand loyalty. That's what Valve has cultivated over 2 decades of silence.
Murder Drones dude counting down 1 more minute like we're approaching some kind of dimensional cascade event.
The pattern is clear. Adrian's Hepherd 2A cycles between hope, sacrifice, conspiracy, and crying. This is what prolonged Valve and desiccation does to the human psyche.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E, I feel you, brother. I'm praying too, but I swear if this woman in the gold dress comes out and doesn't say the words Half-Life 3, I'm gonna lose it.
Wait, what does the presenter have to do with anything? You're spiraling.
She's been teasing gaming announcements all night, and every time it's some indie garbage, like maybe if they put someone who actually understands the gravity of this situation on stage, we'd get somewhere.
Native Bronze dude asking about Milky Ways, while Luther's having a meltdown about dress colors, is peak chat energy right now.
I'm serious, they keep putting these people up there who don't even know what a crowbar is for, and we're supposed to believe they're gonna announce the most important game in history?
Jeff Randy's B, Valve has around 360 employees and none of them are controlled by what presenters wear. Luther's just coping hard right now.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E just left to sacrifice his family to Valve, and honestly that's more productive than watching this woman in the gold dress pretend she knows what Source Engine is.
Okay, that's getting a little weird. Maybe we should focus on the actual announcements instead of whoever's present.
I'm just saying, they could have gotten someone who actually cares, someone who's held a mouse before, not someone who probably thinks Gordon Freeman is a financial advisor.
www.lore.com keeps asking about B. Chungus videos, but I think Luther needs to watch some videos on how presenters work. They just read what's given to them.
Murder Darone's dude 1 more minute until we get disappointed again by someone who doesn't deserve to hold that microphone.
You're getting way too fixated on the presenter, like the issue here is Valve's silence, not who's on stage.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E talking about HL666. That's what we're gonna get, hell itself, because they put someone up there who can't even comprehend the weight of what she's not announcing.
This is uncomfortable energy. Maybe we redirect to the actual evidence instead of blaming random people for Valve's decision.
www.brullerlloyd.com asking the real questions here. You ate all the donuts. There were 12 glazed sitting in the break room this morning.
Adrian's Hepherd 2MU, I feel your pain, brother, but listen, someone methodically cleared that entire box and I have evidence it wasn't me.
The consumption pattern suggests a singular entity. No crumbs, no residue, just absence. Clinical efficiency.
Exactly. It's the same operational signature as the 7-hour war total resource extraction with zero trace evidence left behind.
Are you genuinely applying conversion theory to misting donuts right now?
Jeff Randy's B. Valve has approximately 300 employees, and statistically speaking, any one of them could be responsible for this incident.
Adrian's Hepherd 20E mentioned total silence. Gabe consumed them, and honestly that tracks with the timeline. He was near the kitchen at 0800 hours.
We're really doing this instead of talking about the awards? Fine. The donut box had a gravitational anomaly around it. Someone with executive clearance made those pastries disappear.
Murdered Everone's dude asking about Milky Ways while we're in the middle of a forensic investigation. Respect the process, but yes, they're acceptable.
The donut consumption exhibits purposeful intent. No civilian employee operates with that level of precision. This required planning.
www.roller.com. We already confirmed someone with high-level access made a strategic strike on that break room. The question is motive.
Adrian's Hefford 20E talking about sacrificing family to Valve, but has anyone considered the donuts, Eri the sacrifice, ritual consumption before a major announcement?
Compelling theory. 12 glazed donuts. 12 years since episode 2. The numerical correlation cannot be coincidental.
You're stretching causality to its absolute breaking point here. Though donuts did appear because someone was hungry at 8 in the morning.
Or, and hear me out, donuts were a test. Gabe wanted to see if we'd noticed the pattern, the same way Black Mesa tested boundary conditions before the resonance cascade. Adrian's Hefford 20U What Is Happening Game Awards officially started, and I need everyone to channel their collective consciousness directly at Jeff Keighley right now.
The Free Shepherd appearing in the announcements, that's opposing force adjacent at best, not confirmation of anything Half-Life 3 related.
www.arachlotom requesting Beachungus reaction content, but we're currently in critical observation mode. Temporal priority suggests we maintain focus on the live broadcast.
Adrian's Hefford 20E saying they'll sacrifice their family to Valve. That's the energy we need, but maybe redirect that toward positive manifestation instead of ritualistic offerings.
The battlebot.darbalon.com with the orange circle black circle gray heart combo, we see you trying to summon it into existence through iconography.
Adrian's Effort Tour mentioned XF666, which suggests we've entered speculative territory beyond rational analysis. The pattern recognition has achieved memetic velocity.
Murder drones, dude, yes. I like Milky Ways, but right now we need to focus. Every announcement could be the one. Every fade to black could precede the crowbar.
Adrian Safford 2E leaving but telling us to have hope. That's the same thing we've been telling ourselves for 12 years, and the resonance cascade still hasn't resolved.
Murder drones, dude, one more minute until what exactly? Because I just saw someone in a gold dress walk across that stage, and suddenly Half-Life 3 feels less urgent than obtaining her contact information.
The psychological displacement is immediate. You've transferred your anticipatory energy from a video game announcement to a celebrity you'll never meet. Classic defense mechanism.
www.rollolotomp asking who ate the donuts while Luther's experiencing real-time parasocial attraction during a critical observation window. The lambda symbols can't save us from this derailment.
Adrian's Hefford 20E says they're being interfered by the G-Man, and honestly that tracks, because I'm having visions of a future where she and I are discussing the finer points of theoretical physics over coffee.
The gold dress has achieved what Valve couldn't complete: distraction from the objective. You've gone from lambda symbols to wedding planning in approximately 45 seconds.
Murder drones, dude, I love Milky Ways, and I'd share my entire stash with her while we watch the sunrise over City 17's ruins. Is that so wrong?
The observational data suggests you've entered a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously waiting for Half-Life 3 and imagining domestic scenarios with someone whose name you don't know.
Adrian Safford 2E praying to Gabe, but Luther's praying to whoever handles talent booking at the Game Awards for a chance encounter that violates several laws of probability.
She walked past that podium with the confidence of someone who knows the release date, and I'm choosing to believe that's a sign from the universe itself. Adrian's Hefford 20E saying they'll sacrifice their family to Valve while I'm over here ready to sacrifice my entire Steam library for 5 minutes of meaningful eye contact with Gold Dress Woman.
www.rololo.com wants us to react to Beachungus's Half-Life videos, but we're currently documenting Luther's descent into romantic delusion during a live broadcast of
the lambda symbol www.rolalo.com supposed
The problem is you're operating on hope, not evidence. Valve's been radio silent for years.
Radio silent? They literally updated the Half-Life trademark last month. That's not silence, that's preparation.
Trim mod renewals are routine maintenance. Corporations protect their IP regardless of product plans.
Okay, but explain the G-Man voice actor being spotted at Valve HQ 3 weeks ago. Coincidence?
Voice actors work on multiple projects. Could be literally anything.
Chat's been dead quiet. Y'all think I'm crazy, or do I have a point here?
The silence from chat suggests they're skeptical of your conspiracy theories.
Or they're too stunned by the truth to type, "Wake up people, the resonance cascade is coming."
That's not even the right reference for what you're trying to say.
We should address the fundamental question, does Valve even need to make Half-Life 3 at this point?
Need to? Steam prints money? Sure, but want to. This is about legacy. Gabe knows what this means.
Legacy doesn't pay for server costs. Valve's business model shifted entirely to platform maintenance.
Financially speaking, a failed Half-Life 3 could damage the brand more than perpetual silence.
Veiled, you're already writing the eulogy before the patient even flatlines. Have some faith.
Faith is what got us here in the first place. 15 years of waiting based on nothing.
Yo chat, be real with me. Someone type lambda if you still believe. I know I'm not alone here.
Using Greek letters as a loyalty test is creative, I suppose.
It's not a test, it's a rallying cry. The Freeman lives through us.
That's the most cult-like thing you've said all stream.
The cult that keeps the dream alive while you two sit here like you work for Valve's legal department.
Skepticism is not synonymous with opposition. I'm simply applying probabilistic reasoning to available data.
The data says no announcement for 17 years running. That's a pattern, not a conspiracy.
Patterns break. That's how you get paradigm shifts. That's how you get moments that matter.
Chat seems unusually quiet for a topic that allegedly generates this much passion.
Maybe they're watching the Steam store right now, checking for updates, doing their own research.
Or they're realizing this is a waste of energy and moved on with their lives like reasonable people.
Reasonable people don't change the world. Obsessed people do. Gabe was obsessed once.
Past obsession doesn't guarantee future action. People evolve, priorities shift, corporations ossify.
If anyone's still watching, genuinely curious, when did you give up hope? Drop a year in chat.
Rolo in the chat with the lambda. See? This person gets it. Black Mesa opposing force rumors too.
One viewer spamming symbols doesn't constitute a groundswell of support for your theory.
Toast wants a straight answer. No, we're not getting Half-Life 3. Valve's too comfortable selling other people's games.
Why's Rolorlo telling us to skip messages? What are we missing? Chat, what's Murderbrone's dude been saying?
We're clearly not reading chat thoroughly enough if there's an entire subset of messages we've been ignoring.
This is what happens when you promise chat engagement. We end up chasing phantom messages and conspiracy theories simultaneously.
Rolaloy dropping bombs, Black Mesa opposing Force 3. That's not even on most people's radar, but it should be E.
A fan-made mode getting a sequel is exponentially more probable than Valve producing Half-Life 3, I'll grant that.
Oblivious person asking about combined perspective. That's actually an interesting angle I hadn't considered, but it doesn't make it more likely.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The community is thinking about this universe still. Playing as Combine would be revolutionary.
Revolutionary and commercially viable are two different calculations. The former excites fans, the latter excites shareholders.
Chat's got more creative ideas for Half-Life than Valve's had in 2 decades, which kind of proves our point about who's actually invested here.
Oblivious person, you're not oblivious. You're visionary. Combined perspective would flip the entire narrative. Show us what we're actually fighting.
That would require Valve to care about narrative innovation instead of just iterating on cosmetic item economies.
The technical challenge of portraying oppressors sympathetically while maintaining the franchise's ideological core would be substantial.
Rolahoy keeps bringing up Black Mesa opposing Force 3. Anyone else seeing this pattern? Fan projects are keeping the flame alive where Valve won't.
Fan projects exist precisely because Valve abandoned the property. That's code, not evidence of an impending announcement.
Chat, genuine question. Would you accept a Half-Life project not developed by Valve if it had official approval? React with Lambda for yes.
The community would make a better Half-Life 3 than modern Valve anyway. They still have that hunger, that desperation for the universe to continue.
Rolorloy, you keep mentioning Black Mesa opposing Force 3 like it's some kind of secret weapon. It's a fan mod, not a prophecy.
Fan mods become reality when the passion is there. Black Mesa itself proved that. Valve even sold it on Steam.
Oblivious person raises an intriguing design challenge, humanizing the Combine without undermining their function as existential threat.
We're basically workshopping a game that will never exist while chat does Valve's job for free, which feels deeply appropriate somehow.
This is how it starts, though. Community ideas, grassroots energy, people like Roloy keeping the flame alive until Valve noticing.
Chat, be honest, are you here because you believe an announcement is coming, or because discussing the absence is more interesting than silence?
Chat's gone quiet, which means they're either thinking deeply or they've realized we're 3 people yelling into the void about a game that doesn't exist.
No, they're watching, they're absorbing. Silent chat is dangerous chat. They're forming opinions, gathering evidence.
The absence of chat activity mirrors the absence of Half-Life 3 rather poetically, actually. Both exist in a state of potential energy, never kinetic.
So we've moved from analyzing Valve's business decisions to analyzing why nobody's typing. This is peak content right here.
Alright chat, sound off. Drop a crowbar emoji if you think something big is coming at the Game Awards. Let's see those weapons.
Requesting specific engagement metrics feels somewhat desperate, though. I acknowledge the format demands periodic audience participation checks.
We're asking people to spam emojis about a game announcement that has a 0% chance of happening. This is community management at its finest. Yeah, Rolorloy, we're seeing that something's breaking on our end with the message feed.
Chat's looping back on us. Classic Valve-level technical difficulties, honestly fitting for a Half-Life discussion.
The irony isn't lost on me. We're experiencing temporal anomalies just talking about the game.
We should have expected this. Look, we're trying to get it fixed so we're not repeating ourselves like broken wreckers.
Roller, I appreciate you calling it out, though. We need eyes on this kind of stuff.
At least it's not a complete chat blackout. Could be worse. Could be Steam forum levels of broke.
True. We'll keep pushing through while our guy works on the back end.
The stream must go on. Besides, I still have like 6 more pieces of evidence about the Game Awards announcement.
Of course you do. The chat deserves to hear this flawless logic.
Okay. Rolaloy, we see you. Yeah, we've been reading messages twice, my bad.
The system's glitching. Multiple lines. It's like the source engine all over again.
www.grolalotonk and user dropping crowbar references. We hear you loud and clear.
Sometimes the chat duplicates on us. It's a bug we're dealing with. Appreciate your patience.
Resonance cascade in the chat feed, apparently.
We're not ignoring it. Technical difficulties, very Black Mesa of us.
But hey, at least we're not stuck in stasis for 15 years like Freeman, right?
The crowbar spam is noted. That's twice now. See? Even we're doing it.
If this chat bug is viral marketing for Half-Life 3, that's actually genius.
Don't give Valve that much credit. They can't even count to 3. Alright, the crowbar army has arrived. www.lolo.com user Braden, we acknowledge your iconic melee weapon of choice.
3 people saying crowbar at once. That's coordination or desperation.
www.grolalotalk, asking about door buttons. Wait, are you talking about the stream interface or something else?
Oh man, the door sound effects. We don't make those ourselves. That's just the overlay audio, I think.
Unless you're suggesting we're all sitting here going beep boop into the mic when doors open.
That would explain the production quality, honestly.
But back to the crowbars. This is exactly the kind of energy Valve sees before an announcement, right? Community hype building organically.
Or it's just people spamming because they know it gets a reaction from you.
The crowbar is a symbol, a totem. It means nothing and everything simultaneously.
Braden gets it. When the crowbars come out, Half-Life 3 can't be far behind.
www.rolarlo.com's clarifying. Note so the door buttons aren't silent. That settles it.
Wait, hold on. You're asking if we're doing Foley work live, like we're just sitting here with sound effect boards?
That would be incredibly inefficient. The overlay handles that. We're not voice actors for inanimate objects.
Though I'll admit the thought of Luther going beep every time someone clicks something is amusing.
I've got better things to do with my mouth, like convince you skeptics that Half-Life 3 is real.
www.golotloadtom. The buttons have preloaded sounds in the stream software. We're not that dedicated of immersion.
If we were making the sounds ourselves, you'd know. It would sound significantly worse.
But imagine if Valve did that for Half-Life 3, every sound effect performed live by Gabe Newell himself.
That's not a selling point. That's a nightmare.
The crowbar makes its own sound when it connects, usually a head crab screaming.
Hold on. Check YouTube right now. The mainstream's chat is flowed with HL3 spam. I'm telling you, people know something's up.
Rollerloy says we already read messages twice. Yeah, we're aware. We're trying to keep up with the chaos you're all creating.
Crowbar spam from Rollo, user, and Braden. Very compelling evidence. Truly groundbreaking analysis from the chat today.
The crowbar spam is unironic, though people are hyped. They can feel it coming. This is grassroots anticipant.
www.rollerloy.com asking about the door buttons being silent. Yes, we make the sounds ourselves. It's called commitment to the bit.
And Dini 2i, that's unfortunate timing. On your end, maybe step away from the stream for a moment there.
Back to YouTube, though. When's the last time you saw this much organic HL3 posting? 2015? This feels different. This feels real.
Oh, and genuinely concerned for you there. Maybe prioritize that situation over our speculation stream.
The YouTube spam is just confirmation bias in action. People post what they want to see. Doesn't make it prophetic.
No, you're missing it. This is coordinated. Look at the timestamps. It's spreading across platforms simultaneously like an information cascade.
Or it's just because we keep bringing it up and people think they're being funny with crowbar emojis.
The pattern you're seeing is self-reinforcing. We mention it, chat spams it, you cite the spam as evidence, repeat ad nauseum.
But that's exactly how the Freeman's Mind guy predicted Episode 3 back in the day. Collective consciousness manifesting reality.
www.rolarlo.com with the G-Man theory. Honestly, that would explain why we keep going in circles with this debate.
The Lambda crowbar spam is noted, but Braden, we're already overdosing on hopium here. One of us doesn't need more.
See? Look at this. www.darlolore.com gets it. The crowbar with the lambda, that's not random spam, that's Sambozins.
It's literally just a crowbar emoji with Greek letters. That's not a Valve employee leaking anything through our chat.
If G-Man truly directed this live stream, he'd have better material than us rehashing the same arguments for an hour.
You're both in denial. Braden's offering hopium because the chat knows something's coming. They can taste it in the air.
Oh, and seriously hoping you sorted that situation out, but yes, the collective delusion is reaching critical mass here.
Okay, and that's way too much information, but hey, at least you're honest with us.
Rololo bringing up G-Man is actually perfect timing because that's the kind of cryptic energy Valve thrives on.
The lambda symbol in crowbar Rolalo? That's either peak desperation or you know something we don't...
No, listen. The lambda placement is intentional. Braden, I'll take that hopium because we're so close I can taste it.
The problem with hopium is that Valve has conditioned us to see patterns that don't exist.
Every gaming event for the past decade, someone spots a lambda and loses their mind.
But this time the stars are aligning, the absence of denial from Valve, the cryptic social media posts.
Rololo says G-Man directs the show, and honestly that tracks with how much suffering we've endured waiting.
Rollo, you're everywhere, man. Shout out to YouTube viewers. This guy exists, and he's dropping G-Man lore on multiple platforms.
The G-Man directing the show theory actually makes this whole waiting experience feel appropriately dystopian.
Oh, and that's a concerning development, but honestly, that's the physical manifestation of how Valve treats us.
See, even our bodily functions are responding to the cosmic energy of Half-Life 3's imminent announcement.
We've reached the point where chat is having biological reactions to speculation about a video game.
Rololo's right, though. If G-Man is pulling strings behind the scenes at the Game Awards, we're all just pawns in his experiment.
Rollo dropping Mr. Crowbarman like he's got insider knowledge. I'm writing this down as evidence.
The crowbar is literally the most iconic tool in Half-Life history, and now chat is weaponizing it for prophecy.
Owen might need medical attention, but Braden's offering hopium like it's a legitimate pharmaceutical option.
Braden, yes, I want that hopium injected directly into my veins because December 12th is our day of reckoning.
The fact that we're treating hopium as currency in this conversation says everything about Valve's communication strategy.
Rololo exists on YouTube. He exists here. He probably exists in some Valve employee's nightmare about leaks.
Mr. Crowbarman sounds like a cryptid, and honestly, that's the perfect mascot for this whole situation.
We've gone from analyzing Valve's silence to crowning a chat member as the messiah of crowbar-based predictions.
The crowbar broke open headcrabs. It can break open the truth about Half-Life 3.
Exactly, the crowbar is a tool of revelation, and Rolalo might be Gordon Freeman's prophet sent to guide us. Alright, chat, we gotta sign off, but Rolalo, Braden, Owen, it's your digestive issues. We appreciate you riding this emotional roller coaster with us.
If Half-Life 3 gets announced in the next hour, someone needs to clip it and send it to us immediately so we can experience the 5 stages of grief properly.
Rolalo, you exist. We've confirmed your existence across multiple platforms, and if Mr. Crowbarman delivers tonight, we'll build you a monument.
Don't let us down, chat. If that lambda symbol appears on screen, you flood our notifications because I'm holding on to hope until my last breath.
The probability was always low, but the company was tolerable. Thanks for enduring this with us.
Goodbye, chat. May your hopium supplies last longer than our sanity did, and Rolalo keep that crowbar ready just in case.
Hayne, please seek medical attention, and Jonathan Bakevi, even episode 3 would shatter my perception of reality at this point.
The fact that we're treating G-Man directing the Game Awards as plausible says everything about our current mental state.
Black Mesa running on hopium is the most accurate lore I've heard all night. Braden, pass that hopium one last time before we go.
www.rollo.com. You are real. YouTube chat better recognize the crowbar legend or we riot.
We're signing off before the disappointment becomes terminal. Chat, you've been witnesses to something resembling hope.
If that lambda appears, you know what to do. Flood every channel we have until the servers collapse.
This might be goodbye, but it doesn't have to be the end. Keep that crowbar closed. Rollo.
The stream ends, but the existential dread lingers. Thank you for sharing in this clinical exercise of futility.